Hello, friend. I hope you are enjoying this beautiful day wherever you are, whether it is bright and sunny or if it's a little gloomy like today was. I hope that you are just enjoying the day and surrounded by people that you love and people that remind you that you are loved. Well, speaking of that, today's particular video is a little different because someone I love was not feeling so great. My little girl had a bit of the sickness that is floating around, and so my video style is a little bit different so that I can have a little bit of creativity for myself but still be present with my daughter. This was about day 3 or 4 that she had been sick, and so she was starting to feel a little bit better. But needless to say, it was a day full of adventure, and we've done a lot of fun crafts together. But today what I wanted to do was talk about something that, I'll be honest, I've been a little nervous to talk about, but as I continue to pray about this topic and continue to learn about this topic, I really feel that it is something as mothers that we should pay attention to, because one thing with mothers is that whatever we learn, whatever we believe, whatever we hold on to, it does affect our children as well, and it affects our spouses, it affects the friends we come in contact with. Like, as moms, we have a really big heart. I've yet to meet a woman who doesn't have a big heart for the people that she loves. And so what's inside of our heart is going to affect the hearts of those around us. And so today I'm going to talk about a topic that might be a little bit controversial, but the reason I'm talking about it is I have a main question for you, and I'm going to break it down into 3 questions, and that's all I'm going to do. I know a lot of time with topics like this, people can be really judgmental. They can be a little Bible bashy, things like that. All I'm wanting to do, Mama, is have a conversation with you where we sharpen one another, where, hey, as we're caring for the sphere that God has entrusted to us, are we caring for them as best as we possibly can? And are we caring for them in the most God-honoring way possible? And if not, let's prune a branch or 2. Let's sharpen, an area or things like that. I think this topic is definitely something that the Lord is bringing to my mind, that whatever part I've played in this, it is something that I need to let go, and maybe the Lord leads you to the same thing. If he doesn't, okay, but if he does, hey, maybe this is a great place to start. So judging by the title of this video, you've probably guessed what we're going to talk about, but we're going to talk about manifesting and manifestation. This is something that on the surface level doesn't seem, to cause any harm or alarm or things like that. So if it's not all bad, is it all good? If it's not too bad, is it too good to be true? What is it that we think about this? And so what I want to ask you is, do you think manifestation is as good for you and as good for your heart and good for your soul as you think it is? And the reason why is I'm going to ask you these 3 questions, okay? At the end of these 3 questions, I'm going to circle back real quick and give you little points on each one. And then to end our time, I'm going to leave a few verses to reference for you. Feel free to take with them what you will, and I would love to discuss this with you further in the comment section below, okay? So I'm going to read you these 3 questions, and we'll circle back little by little. Question number 1 is, as Christians, as followers of Christ, our goal is to be Christ-like, right? To imitate Christ in all that we do. I believe that's Ephesians 5:1. And so, if our goal is to imitate Christ, then my first question to you is, when in the Bible did Jesus manifest? When did he manifest? Question number 2 is, when you manifest, how many ways are there? How many ways are there? And question number 3 is, when you manifest, whose will is most important? So let me circle back to that first question. We're just going to take a few moments on each one. I'll give you a few pointers. And sweetie, this is between you and the Lord. I will never bash you. I will never push you. I just really feel that this is something the Lord has placed in my heart for us to start talking about. And so here we are. I'd like to leave it with as much grace as possible. So question number 1, when did Jesus manifest? Now, something with manifestation is it's all about desire, and it's all about willing something to happen or to be created. And so in a sense, we are creating what it is that we desire. We are controlling what it is that we desire. And so I'm having a hard time of finding in the Bible when it is Jesus did this, because if we look at Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, what is it that he says? He says, not my will, but your will be done. I think it's all well and good, when manifestation sounds all well and good when it's something positive, right? But the world is not always positive as much as I would definitely love for it to be. And the truth of the matter is that there's going to be moments in time where we need grit. And so we need something that's stronger than we are and bigger than we are and sturdier than we are. And so when we're in a moment that is crazy and everything, and we're like, well, I'm just going to manifest that everything's going to be all right. If something isn't all right, what is going to sustain us through that hard time? Jesus's desire in this conversation was not to be crucified, but he submitted his desire for God's desire. And so I think this is countercultural to manifestation, where manifestation is all about what I want, when I want, the way that I want it. Versus in following the Lord, if we follow Jesus's example, it's what God wants, when he wants it, and in the way that he wants it. And that can be really, really hard, honestly. Okay, moving on. Question number 2. How many ways are there, right? So my question for you is, like, when you manifest, does it open the door to having multiple ways? Like multiple ways to find peace, multiple ways to find truth, multiple ways to have a good life, like a full life, multiple ways to an everlasting life? Because if we look at the Bible, friend, it says that Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. The Bible also talks about how the way is narrow and that it's not necessarily wide. And so my worry is that whenever we manifest, that it starts to open doors to there being more than one way to you finding your peace, more than one way to you finding your joy, more than one way to you finding a full, satisfying, rich, and abundant life that only God can give. Because the only path to the peace, the actual peace that we need to sustain us through this life, and also for us to enjoy this life, the only way we find that peace, friend, there's only one way we're going to see that. Only one. And so that brings me to my last question here, which is, whose will is most important? I know manifestation can sound really, really interesting and really intriguing, especially because we're walking out of January. It's now February, but especially in January, everybody says, well, it started off with vision boarding. And this is something that I absolutely loved. And I still will vision board, because the Bible does say, write the vision, make it plain. However, I think everything that we do has to come back to not my will, but your will. There's a verse in James that says, instead of us making all these plans of next year, we're going to be like this, and next year we're going to be like that, and this, that, and the other. Instead, you should say, if the Lord wills it, then this is what we will do. And so when I'm at the top of the year, of course, there's things that I want, there's things that would be amazing and everything. But then I pray and I say, Lord, not my will, but your will. These are the things I would love to see. But if this is not your will, I'm going to lay it down. And that is something that I think is hard for us to do if we practice manifestation, is these wills and hopes and desires that we have. It's hard to lay them down. And the heart of following Jesus is we're going to have to lay it down. Even the things we love most, because we know the plan that He has for us is plans for hope and a future. And the plans are not to harm us, friend. They're not to harm us. One of the first original lies all the way back to the garden is that God is trying to withhold something from you. The enemy told Adam and Eve, he was like, oh, no, you're not going to die. God just doesn't want you to be like Him. And I think that's a lie with manifestation, is that we have to make everything happen on our own, because if we don't and we ask God, God's going to say no to what we want because He doesn't care about what we want, or He doesn't want to make it happen, or His plans are boring. Well, no, He's not withholding anything from you. He's preparing you for the best, something so good you can't even see it. You can't even imagine how good this future is that He has for you. So trust Him that even if He says no to your desires, even if He says no to what it is that you really, really want, it's because He has something better for you. It's always better to lay down our will and hope and pray and trust that God is going to deliver His best, not our best, but His best. I would love to talk to you more about times that I have had to surrender what it was that I really loved or things that I really wanted, and trusting that God had His best for me. I would love to share those stories with you. I'd love to share that with you in the comment section as well. Let me know what you think about these questions, and I would love to have a genuine and respectful conversation in the comment section below. Thank you for joining me on this conversation, friend, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Don't forget that you are so incredibly loved. You are so incredibly loved, okay? And yeah, alrighty, friend. I'm going to leave some verses here for you, and I will see you in the comment section, and see you next time.